Hi, Aubrey again, and this is my vlog number 2 discussion. We're going to talk about 3 readings from Reading Pop Culture that we went over this week from Chapter 7. We're going to talk about 3 readings, so let's get right into it. The first reading that we had was Escaping the Matrix. In this short excerpt from Reading Pop Culture, we talked about FOMO, or the fear of missing out, and how it is a newer form of anxiety felt by young people or the general public today. And it stems from our need to be a part of many things going on around us, as well as being involved in news, social media, and the current life we are experiencing. It is to the point in some instances where being connected to social media or the news or our thousands of friends on social media is more captivating than taking in a meal with the social engagement right here in front of us. The author furthers this idea by talking about the dependence this generation has on technology itself and how we not only rely on it, but we use it to feed our social thirst, and to ease this anxiety of being disconnected. To ease this anxiety of being disconnected. So we rely on tech so much for making us feel good that it's to the point where it can kind of get dangerous. I agree with this because it's dangerous to rely heavily on anything that isn't certain. And unfortunately, whether you believe it or not, almost nothing in this life is certain, including technology. So to rely on it so heavily and to have our happiness be contingent on it is a really dangerous idea. Even more relying on it for happiness and socially is worse, because on an individual basis, relying on something that is more or less a facade for our happiness is fragile. And the reason that I say that is having thousands of friends on social media, those are kind of a facade. Those 1,000 friends aren't really all our friends. They're people we know, they're people that we're familiar with, we go to school with them, but they're not our friends. And so to soon become reliant on their following of you or their friendship with you via social media as opposed to the relationships right in front of you, that's a dangerous topic. Moving on, we're going to talk about Violent Media is Good for Kids. This was RPC 2, or the second excerpt that we read. So this one kind of talked, in this reading by Gerard Jones, we see something contrary to the PC movement among media. So something that I want to talk about. We see this thing right now with parents moving away from over-gendered characters in books or movies to more fluent characters that show fluidity between genders, whether it's more girls playing sports or a girl that doesn't wear dresses and maybe dresses more like the boys do. And that's a normal thing. And we're doing that so that young people who maybe are tomboys, though that term is maybe not the correct term, girls who don't like dresses or girls who like to play sports as opposed to play with dolls or whatever it may be, can see themselves in media and feel comfortable, because that's important. But at the same time, the author of this, Gerard Jones, he challenges some of that. For instance, specifically about taking what we see as bad, over-gendered being bad, or violent being bad, or over-masculine characters being bad, taking them out of media as opposed to leaving them in there so that young people can experience them. The issue is that that seeing it is important. By seeing violence and the outcomes, we can see the good and bad results of violence and learn from that. We can see why violence is wrong, as opposed to just being told violence is wrong but never experiencing it. By hiding our youth from the things we don't want them to see or become, we'll never actually show them what not to do. And it's really important that they understand and see those things for themselves, as opposed to just telling somebody, allowing them to experience it and see it, especially through media, something that maybe is different than, for instance, them experiencing it firsthand. Having it in media is a lot better. And so by taking it out of media or to not allow them to see it, we're ultimately doing them a disservice. The last thing that we're going to talk about is Secret Skin, a lesson in unitard theory. So this reading was admittedly hard for me. I didn't quite understand all the points the author was making, but I did gather this. The idea of a costume holds all this magic in theory. As a child, Superman's cape held all this power to fly, to be a superhero. But one comes to realize in life that the costume is just an illusion. And with a costume, and like by wearing the costume, you don't necessarily, you know, if I put on a cape right now that's like Superman's cape, I can't suddenly fly. We come to find that costumes are an illusion. And this is a tough truth to face. A lesson would be a good way to say it, which is a secret skin, a lesson in unitard theory. It's a lesson to all young people that there's more to a superhero than just their outfit that makes them the way they are. And just by mirroring a comic book character, you cannot become what they are and do all the things that they do. And that's a tough lesson to learn. So yeah, that last reading was admittedly difficult for me. I wasn't picking up, I feel like, on everything that I should have. Maybe I did pick up on the main topic, maybe I didn't. It didn't feel like I was when I was reading it. I felt like I was missing something, but I couldn't figure out what it was. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. That was vlog 2. Oops, sorry. Bye.